Start remembering what you hear. Start remembering what you hear. Start remembering what you hear. If you don't like the product, keep your mouth shut. It's as simple as that.
Your idea, Dr. Brinker.
Okay, my idea is, it is 100 years in the past.
The mirror of mine, the opposite.
But the question is, how do they get to the past? How did that happen? How is it possible to go 100 years in the past? That's because current day, spaceship goes in space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're supposed to do. Spaceships are supposed to go in space. That's why they're called spaceships.
Yeah.
And he's in the spaceship. He's just traveling around space, having a good time. It's a cartoon. I forgot to say.
Okay, it's a cartoon.
It's a little spaceship, just space, meeting all the other planets, having dinner with the planets, going out, dancing, having fun. Then the sun comes in, and the sun starts bullying the spaceship.
Really?
And the spaceship doesn't like this because he doesn't like being bullied.
Well, no, obviously.
The spaceship just keeps on calling him like, you're a little chicken. You're a little chicken spaceship.
Yeah.
A little chicken ship. And he's like, I'm not a chicken ship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a spaceship.
That's what he says.
And then he gets all of his planet friends.
Yeah.
His meteor his friends. Orion's belt. He's a prophet that helps the spaceship realize what he needs to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
And they all get together, and then they fight the sun. And the sun has his evil black holes. His little henchmen that are black holes.
Yeah.
He takes the spaceship and sends the spaceship down a black hole. And then the spaceship goes 100 years in the past.
Yeah.
And happens to come up in West.
1910. Well, I don't know if that's quite the Wild West.
Well, I mean, it takes place. The film starts in the 80s.
Okay.
And then goes to the 1880s.
1880s. All right, that makes more sense.
So he's in the Wild West, and the people in the Wild West are like, is this a mountain? What is this? And the people in the Wild West, they're played by real people. Okay. And then it's a cartoon. Kind of like
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like MC Scat Cat and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Becomes a gunslinger. The spaceship becomes a gunslinger, and 100 years in the past, from the 1980s to the 1880s. Okay. And he kills Billy the Kid. And he becomes a big, and he just kills him because he's now a gunslinger, and that's what gunslingers do. They kill other gunslingers. He's now an outlaw.
Okay.
And then the marshal is hunting the spaceship down.
Yeah.
Between the marshal and the spaceship.
Okay.
And then the spaceship gets shot and then bleeds to death, and then credits.
That sounds
And then after
amazing.
the credits, there's a little more. It's a little animated feature made by my nephew, where it takes a little kid and he's playing with a spaceship. Then he throws a spaceship in the ceiling, and it hits a ceiling fan, and it knocks a hole in the wall. And then in the hole in the wall, there are a bunch of talking rats that live in the wall.
Yeah.
And those talking rats befriend this toy spaceship, and then that is supposed to represent the beginning of the spaceship. And then the spaceship grows up, and then the end of the short film, at the end of the film, he gets shot into space, and that's how we understand how he got into space.
All right. That sounds wonderful, Dr. Brinker. I don't want to burst your bubble, but I feel like you may have accidentally combined all three of the Back to the Future films and Pixar Animation Studios' entire output into one movie.
That's not true.
Okay, all right.
That's an original idea.
If you say so.
If you can have people drown underground, I can have a spaceship going to the sky
I made that up!
And hanging out with other planets.
All right.
In Back to the Future, he doesn't go... Okay, first off, Back to the Future, he doesn't go to space.
Well, it's with people. That's people.
He travels back in time in a time machine made out of DeLorean, not a black hole.
I know. Yeah, well...
And then the sun... Okay, I do agree that the sun is a metaphor for Biff.
The sun is Biff.
Okay, but that was just inspiration. It's not plagiarism.
Okay.
Biff
never said
the sun
chicken
was inspired
ship.
by Biff. I'll give you that.
All right.
But the spaceship was not inspired by Marty Fly.
Okay. Marty McFly.
Marty McFly. Yes, I
What
apologize.
about Doc Brown? Oh, he's Orion.
Yeah, he's Orion's belt.
He's Orion's belt. Well, you just admitted it.
All right, fine.
All right.
I stole my idea from my cartoon about a spaceship that travels around space, befriending planets, and has to fight the bully sun. I stole that from Back to the Future.
I knew it. I knew you did.
But only Back to the Future 1
So
and 3.
was this guy trying to get the moon to go out with Earth then?
I didn't go that far. I mean, don't be ridiculous.
But I think my idea is the most original, though, of Nephews in Space.
Hey, listen, Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, that's when he goes into the future
Yeah.
and it finds out what his life is with his girlfriend and his kids, who look like him but don't look like his girlfriend.
So that's going to be the sequel.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
No, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's gonna be the sequel. After
Okay.
All
right.
because I mean it's gonna be a franchise. So
Of
we
course
need
it
to
is.
sell Jimmy Spaceships. That's his full name. His name is
Mhm.
Jimmy Spaceship. But they only call him Spaceship because they're cool and hip.
Yeah, I know.
So, but Jimmy Spaceship, we gotta sell merchandise. We're gonna sell T-shirts. We're gonna sell Jimmy Spaceship toys. Each moon, each planet. I mean,
Yeah, and
is
planets.
its own individual character. They're gonna have their own individual action figure. Then there's gonna be a bunch of Wild West action figures. There's gonna be Orion's belt action figure. That's gonna be actually a belt.
A belt, okay.
That's gonna be a real belt that goes on people's waists.
So you thinking anthropomorphic planets, like kind of like the California raisins, but more obloid, spherical?
Spheroid?
And they're not gonna have arms or legs, but they will have faces.
They faces.
Obviously, because they
How
need
they
faces
move?
in order to talk.
They roll around like
They're in space. They float in
roly-poly-oly?
space. They don't need you don't need hands and feet to float in space.
Well, you heard what Chuck said. You can't slow down once you start going. It's like one big game of bumper cars up there, isn't it?
Okay, you don't. GM Chuck doesn't know these planets.
He says he does.
He doesn't know these planets.
Okay.
These planets are able to start and stop whenever they please. If they want to move, they'll move. If they want to stop, they'll stop.
So
right
they
there.
have life on these planets?
They are alive.
Yeah, the planets are its own
But do
life.
they have life on them?
No.
Like
Well, we
lice.
don't know because we don't go into that deep into the.
Ooh,
Those
until
are
the
just
sequels.
minor characters. We don't care about these minor planets.
Till the sequels. Look,
Yeah, till the sequels.
I just made up the shirt right here. Picture of Jimmy Spaceship under it in Comic Sans font. I ain't no chicken ship.
Exactly.
Dude, money
That's
in
gonna be
the
a
bank.
T-shirt that's going to be made.
Dr. Brinker, you
I
will
ain't
be
no
richer
chicken
than you
ship.
already are.
It's a beautiful
Oh,
idea.
I know.
We will make those shirts. Any of our listeners want a Jimmy Spaceship, I ain't no chicken ship. Tell us and we'll make those.
It'll probably only cost about $30.
Yeah. I think it's more possible to make my animated feature with a spaceship talking to planets than Chuck's live action Nephews in Space. Because first,
I
we
believe
got to
you.
actually shoot. We actually have to send the actors, the nephews, and the film crew into space to actually film this.
Yeah.
That's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, Lance Bass couldn't
Yeah.
even afford
And
singing
because
up
his is
there.
live action and it's supposed to be based off reality, his beans cannot stop. But mine is seeing that it's a cartoon and it's Hollywood myth,
Yeah.
they are able to stop.
Yeah.
So that's how it works because it's only a movie, and you can do whatever you want in movies, and it's
Might
also a
have
cartoon.
Killed yourself with your authenticity here.
Yeah,
Gene
you and your
Chuck.
realism.
What happened to the rest of Orion? That's the one question I have about your movie.
What happens to
Why
Orion?
is it only the belt?
Why is
Orion is a constellation. He's a person. His belt is simply an apparel item.
Well, it's a cartoon.
Okay. That
State
that,
off
you just
first.
explained it.
It's a cartoon. Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
he actually Orion's belt is gets in trouble with some terrorizing moons, and then
Oh, okay.
they
Debt collectors.
they kill Orion's belt.
Yeah.
But then we all find out later that Jimmy's spaceship told Orion that the moons were going to kill him.
Yeah.
So he survives in the end.
It's interstellar intrigue. All right. Well, that's a good. All
right.
You know that you didn't get that from Back to the Future. You
No, that was
actually
all
thought of
original. That's
that.
from my mind.
I ain't no chicken ship.